for you and Miriam to like say yes to me, you have to also say yes to moving to Seattle. You have to also say yes to like getting a car, getting all of your stuff up. You have to also say yes to like being these versions of yourself that live in abundance. You have to like accept all of these new things about yourself. Do you want to do it? We were sitting in Boston and we were like, why not? Let's do it. There are some stories we could tell between last episode and this one. We stayed with Dan and Crystal, went to Glass Beach, saw our friend Ranjana, and at the time, I was getting really inspired by the idea of a future in politics. So when we saw that the Richard Nixon Library was one exit away from Crystal's, we couldn't help ourselves. And when we saw the Ronald Reagan Library, which is a short drive north in the direction we were already going, we went there too. But there's a story that captures the essence of our trip that much more than any of these other stories do. Let's lay some context here. We got our home. Oh my God. I woke up this morning and had a message that was like, hey, your application was approved if you want to move in this afternoon.
And now it's the 3rd. The apartment adds to a 3 and it's unit 3.
Oh.
It all happened so fast, I was just tracking it in my calendar.
Yeah. Holy crap. Our mastermind calls are good markers because the first one we've just gotten to Seattle.
Our very first mastermind call, we were in San Diego.
Holy crap, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
yeah,
much has
call
been
number 1, we were in
happening
San Diego.
Week to week.
The plan was something along the lines of land in San Diego, buy a car, pack up our storage unit into that car, and drive up the coast an hour to our friend Crystal's, where we'd regroup and figure out the rest of our journey to see. Yes, you've seen this part of the story before, but what you haven't seen and what we haven't talked about is the timing of it all. Wow,
So
yeah,
much has
call
been
number 1, we were in
happening
San Diego.
Week to week.
Call number 2, we were 2 hours out of Seattle.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it is recording.
Oh.
Guess what?
What?
We just booked a hotel in Seattle because she was like, all right, we should book a hotel. We're done with our mastermind call for the night. We should book a hotel and then drive. And it was $76, which is my favorite number. And the thing happens to be on 47th Avenue when I go to map there, which is her favorite number. They're like our signs of like, okay, you're on the right track, you're doing your thing. Mine's like a balance of spirituality and practicality. Hers is like, you're on the right track.
We're on the right path.
We are on the right path. Call number 3, we're on Bainbridge Island on the west side of the Puget Sound.
Uh-oh.
Call number 4, we're gonna be in our brand new apartment that we just signed a 12-month lease on. Oh,
So quick.
wow. In like the perfect community with everything we wanted.
I know.
I can't even believe it. Oh my God. These 4 weeks were literally the quickest I've ever experienced life move. But there's a reason why I believe that happened, why we believe that happened. Let's talk about it. Miriam and I run a mastermind called Leaders of the Second Paradigm. I'd call it a business mastermind, but it's not your typical business strategy networking group. First, it's a group of peers, soul-aligned men and women who are here to do something big. Not just big in the sense of money, and not just big in the sense of legacy. More along the lines of big in the sense of something impactful and spiritually significant. Messengers of a massive global awakening, coming together to trust our own inner guidance above everything else. Living in a world that has no idea what that means. Finding solace in a group that not only speaks soul truth, but demand it. Because everything we do has an element of channeled guidance from non-physical beings of light, there's this element of being in this container as much as we are facilitating it. This duality, this paradox, this for me is the real reason why we're in Seattle. Because every day we say yes to creating a group of soul-aligned individuals who are dedicated to saying yes to their soul truth. When Miriam and I realized that saying yes to our mastermind also meant saying yes to these versions of ourselves that we were becoming, we had to say yes. We bought our ticket not that long after. When we get asked at Starbucks or somewhere, just in passing, what made us move across the country, what made us pick up and move all the way from Boston to Seattle, I typically say something along the lines of intuition. That's kind of an edgy thing to say already, but the truth is, I'm here, we're here, because our souls demanded it. And because our mastermind is an intelligence that we said yes to deciphering. And the David Rostosky that runs that mastermind, the Miriam Wagner that runs that mastermind, these versions of ourselves demanded that we embody them. So even though it was scary as to move to Seattle, and quite honestly, in Massachusetts, all I wanted to do was lay around and watch Netflix and do nothing and slowly slip into depression. I am who I am now because our mastermind demanded that I trust, that I take the leap, and that with my peers right by my side, with my beloved Miriam right by my side, that we all become who we actually came here to be. When I really reflect back, it feels so weird, but it feels like the thing that compelled us forward was our mastermind.
Yeah.
And the fact that we felt these iterations of ourselves that ran this mastermind, and we said yes to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's what dictated the whole rest of the trip.
It's weird.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way either. Because it's so odd. I don't know, for me, to actually share that story feels really odd. It was like we felt in the ethers that this mastermind wanted to exist.
Yeah.
We said yes to it, and because we said yes to it, we had to be different.
Yes.
Like we had to up level.
Yes.
And that is a weird idea, but it's also true enough.
It's also what we're teaching.
It's also what we're teaching, and it's true enough that to tell the story of Seattle, to tell this story, this video, it would be only a half truth unless we actually told that story.
That's true.